As you know, I'm Dr. Robert Newman, a candidate over many years for governor of the state of California by God's call. Be aware that I and my wife Mary, who's with me, and has been by my side all along, would only do what we're doing by God's call. I appreciate your understanding of what that means, because it clearly relates to all of us doing our part to save our country. The Titsnitzes are here again with us in a restaurant in Palm Desert, California on November 15, 2022. In terms of the last discussion I've had with you, this is a class action suit being proposed. We are in search of the appropriate God-ordained attorney to take this case, not just for bill hours, but for the purpose of saving the election process in the state of California through legal elections. As I referenced last time when I spoke, the election of June 2022 was not a lawful election. The law was violated by the Secretary of State's office here in California for nefarious purposes. That's all that I can conclude about how such a thing could happen. Now I want to say that in this contact this evening, I will share a number of quotes of competent, respected, renowned individuals who bolster the points that I in part will make tonight. I will say that I know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if a person sees the beauty in what I am referencing here in a class action suit, individuals will participate. We are talking about the very survival of elections in the state of California. The election process is written within the Constitution of the state of California. However, I will make reference to the federal Constitution from time to time. I want to first reference a Great Awakening pastor by the name of Finney. Let me find that quote. Very powerful. Charles Finney said, and this is particularly relevant to my term, wimpy, milquetoast pastors in America today who are willing to let our country go down the drain. And our country is the very survival of their congregation. The individuals, the church itself, this administration, federal, state, are after those who worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mark my words in that regard. A good friend of mine, Raul Rodriguez, who ran for Secretary of State in this last election, meaning the June primary, and in the previous election, starts all of his emails, "Wake up, America." We must wake up. Here's Charles Finney. Politics as part of a religion in such a country as this, and Christians must do their duty to their country as part of their duty to God. That's a quote. We have a responsibility to our God in our church and in our community. God will bless or curse this nation according to the course Christians take in politics. To date, in my experience, in 20 years of being a candidate in every election, the June primaries, since Gray Davis was defrocked, I'm very much aware that Christians are sleeping. Their very existence as one who worships, their very existence as a human being is at stake. The government is pursuing those who have a faith in the living God. There are those who will be listening to what I'm saying, who have never heard of me, and have good reason to say, I don't know who that is, and I don't know what his position really is. So I'm going to rely on those in whom I have confidence, faith, respect, to share with you their position, which is my position. I will first reference John Adams. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is solely inadequate to the government of any other." That's my position. If we truly are a God-fearing nation, Raul Rodriguez's statement is, "Wake up, America." But don't just wake up. Once you're awake, do something to further our constitutional rights. As the Declaration of Independence says, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and the purpose of government is to guarantee those God-given rights. Now I want to say of old, we had a fellow who was running around, a great philosopher, and it was the second in command, and he followed Socrates. It's Plato, and he came before Aristotle, and he said this: the price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. You evaluate who's ruling now. Get away from apathy. Do something. Save your state. Save the election process, and do your part in saving the very nation that God Himself created. I want to thank you for bearing with me. I'm providing the support for the position that I'm encouraging you to assume for your own good. This is not about me. This is about America. It's about freedom. It's about liberty. It's about our God-given rights. I would like to quote Harry S. Truman, who was well respected by me. Harry S. Truman. He was pro-Israel. He made some profound decisions about World War II. I have a great deal of respect for the buck stops here man. Harry S. Truman, 1951. Unless men exercise their freedom in a just and honest way, within moral restraints, a free society can degenerate into anarchy. What are we experiencing today? Are we experiencing law and order, respect for legitimate authority, honesty in government? Look at that. You decide. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was one of my heroes. World War II, German Lutheran pastor said this: silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. It is our responsibility. Take action. God knows. I will share with you now a quote by Benjamin Franklin. I don't know of anybody who has ever said anything negative about Benny and his contribution to establishing this country. Here it is. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary security deserve neither liberty nor safety. It's what I'm referencing there, as I've experienced at my own church. Many people are sleeping. They want to buy a newer vehicle, one that's overpriced. They want to go on vacation. They want to pleasure themselves. I know that I've upset some when they share that with me, that eat, drink, and be merry, for Rome burns. And I mean that. My wife and I have been married 61 years. We are very sensible, very frugal, and very obedient to the Lord. And I'll share this. We have never been on vacation. And somehow we've made it through life without going on a cruise or an excursion or whatever it might be, because we're sensible. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying at this point in time, from my perspective, Rome is burning. And it'll continue to burn unless we wake up. The price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. You evaluate who's ruling now. Get away from apathy. Do something. Save your state. Save the election process, and do your part in saving the very nation that God Himself created. Thank you. In discussing these matters with you and providing these various quotes, I merely want to say again, this is who I am. This is what I represent. This is my concern. This is my country. And I want it to be preserved for my own purposes, I'll say, for evangelism. But there are many others that can't identify with that, and I understand that. We have liberty in this country because it was written into the Constitution, because it was ordained of God to do it that way. I have provided various quotes over the course of time. I think the one about 200 years, 300 years before the birth of Jesus Christ was Plato. And I provided some approaching the current time. I want to provide some more that are now, right now, that will solidify What I'm saying that others have tried their best to wake up America. We have a lot to lose. First, I'll start with Paul Harvey. I recall the program that Paul Harvey used to record, and it was the rest of the story. He would share a bit which was powerful, and then he would say the rest of the story. Here's what Paul Harvey said. He said, when the government is all powerful, the people are cattle. How do you like that? Government is becoming more and more and more powerful, removing more opportunities from you and from me. Those opportunities were guaranteed in the Constitution. Please take note. The Constitution of the United States of America and the state of California is being violated by our current administrations, right and left. Here's a quote from Dennis Prager, March 1st of 2021, and here it is. Everything gets smaller as government gets bigger. Here's a quote, the last one I'll reference, is from Dave Hodges. Dave Hodges has the Common Sense Show, which I will highly recommend to you. And in March 4 of 2021, he has said this, and he has repeated this in many ways, with facts, with information, with current events, saying this: I have lost all confidence in all levels of government. This is a sad situation. So what I'm saying, let's take back government. We can do it. Relating this back to a class action suit, we need to stand up. If you value your worldly possessions and your bank account more than you value the very country that made all of that possible, you are a fool. You will lose all the way around. Wake up. Do your part. That's it for now. Thank you. God bless.